closer than ever, and for the first time in my life, I experienced firsthand what it is to be truly selfless. If parenthood was level 1 in the lesson of giving, caring for a love of your life when they're dying is the advanced course. Knowing the clock is ticking in your time left together and breathing in every word, living for each conversation lest it might be the last, while losing inhibition and barriers, as the old distinctions of your roles become irrelevant in place of the new demands of their disease, altered life as I knew it forever. In those weeks and days between life and death, time froze. Everything outside of my interaction and anything I could do from moment to ease Dad's physical suffering or quieten his mind were all-encompassing. I existed for him only and found a joy in doing so which brought a momentary happiness as pure as the day I heard my baby, Monet, laugh for the first time. The last words my dad ever said to me were "hold my hand." So I did, and after 4 days of waiting, dreading yet anticipating the end, he died. My hand in his in mine. In the outside world, Britain was exiting Europe. In my world, I was exiting life as I knew it. Grief wrenched me out of the day-to-day running of the business. It sent me silently crashing to my knees and broke me open, forcing me to surrender. It was as though the noise of constant activity that had pervaded my life from the moment I made the decision aged 18 to transform it ceased. The din subsided and was replaced with stillness. Along with the relentless ache of loss in my chest was an unexpected peace. And then the magic happened. I began to notice things that had always been there with new eyes. Each morning I'd experience the sun rising and notice the formation of the clouds as though I was seeing it for the very first time. I started to feel things in a new way too. I became connected to life in all its forms in the most powerful, inexplicable way. I was in the moment, awake, and though I longed for my father's presence, I felt his spirit in and around me in everything I did. It was incredible. Within this quiet, with my oars now entirely still, the waves parted, and complete and utter clarity lay before me. My dad had been such a mammoth part of my identity that when he passed on, I was hurtled into my ground zero and forced to redefine my place in the world. I went from being raw and lost without him to finding me because of him. The calling for something new, that new purpose that would fill me with passion and give me reason and possibilities, opening doors to a new life once again, was right there. After desperately searching for signs about what to do with the next phase of my life, heartbreak over my dad's death forced me to stop searching for my next calling. The panic I felt about the uncertainty was a new state of being for someone who was usually ambitious and focused. But when I stopped, the answers found me. I had begun writing as a cathartic coping mechanism when Dad's illness took over, and his words of wisdom could be heard no more, following which my pen became powerful. What began as an outpouring of despair evolved into the project of my tomorrow, this very book, a parting kiss goodbye from him through me. For my entire life, I've required a level of controlled perfection of myself that has been impossible to realise and sustain. I've cracked a silent whip on my back with a ferociousness no enemy would inflict upon me, demanding more, better, to the detriment of my self-worth, as enough became an unobtainable mirage. Not unusual behaviour for those of us who figured early on in life that control was a method of personal safeguarding. I've been addicted to controlling every aspect of my life and wherever possible the people in it for as long as I can remember. There's a certain feeling of comfort and security in forcing outcomes before they can occur naturally, in cushioning blows, both mine and of those I love, by leaping in front of risks and potential problems before they happen. Working all the hours God sent at the sacrifice of sleep to safeguard me from not being successful, even when I'd become successful. Micromanaging others in case they didn't do things to the standard I would do them. Sabotaging relationships in case they didn't work out. And then exhaling like a weird psychopath, relaxing into an overworked, lonely, but familiarly comforting depression, almost like, phew, that was close. I almost lost control and became happy. I used to cushion my daughter's every move without even realising it. In an effort to avoid her ever having to feel disappointment, pain or discomfort, I was always several steps ahead of her, sussing out the terrain for my little princess. And then one day, when I realised she was already a teenager, I began to notice that I'd ask her to do a simple task and she'd